In the name of the mighty and terrible one, I proclaim that I have banished the shells unto their habitations. I invoke Tahuti, the Lord of wisdom and utterance, the God that cometh forth from the veil. O thou majesty of Godhead, wisdom crowned Tahuti, Lord of the gates of the universe, thee, thee I invoke. Welcome and greetings and salutations, wanderer, wayfarer, wizard, warrior, and wildcat alike. I hope you are doing well today. See if I can't get that adjusted a little bit. Keep that incense burning in the background. A few things I've been looking at these last couple of days. Let's have a look here. Join me as we explore the realms of the astral. Is this the right one? Yeah, this is the right one. Got a lot of different books open, taking some notes. Currently, we are in the second decan of Capricorn. Is that right? Let's check the date. Yeah, sounds about right. It's the 2nd of January. Cold out here in Twilight Zone of Peking. Frank Mondo reporting to you once again from the Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon. Welcome. Let's go ahead and get started. I prefer to actually have the microphone in my right ear. So let me double check to make sure it's still working. Out there in Happy Land, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. That helps out the channel, as they say. Helps feed the algorithm. You got to feed the trolls occasionally, right? No? Okay. Um, Welcome one and all. This stream is a little bit dubious. It's starting to break up, I think, which is not any kind of fun. So where have we gotten to in our study of Robert Bruce's Astral Dynamics? Yeah, it looks like it might be working now. I think there's a delay. Thank you for that. Happy Land thumbs up. It's what I like to see. Keeps the lead in the pencil, so to speak, right? As they say. So the last chapter I covered in my own study is Complications of Consciousness, chapter 4, and I left off around astral feedback. So we were looking at shadow memories was the last thing. So when you come out of a astral projection trance state, you're going to be left with multiple copies, as it were, of the various energy bodies and their interaction. So you can see from the top down, we've got the dream mind, the etheric mind, the real-time mind, and the astral mind. And according to Robert Bruce, these are like all four of these minds are simultaneously encoding your experience at various energetic levels. And the human brain can't sort through all of this interaction simultaneously. And so a mind split occurs. Basically, we see like this division of force. So at level 1, the dreaming mind, it's smoother in its ideations up and down, And it says it's easier to recall the dreaming mind. It's a reflected copy. So the master copy lies within the etheric mind, and it's base level scripting in the unconscious, usually totally beyond cognitive recall. So the etheric is writing all of this into the etheric field, as it were, where perhaps we've got this free form of being. The dream mind, easier to recall, though ambiguous, obscure, and indistinct. The etheric mind, the master copy, usually totally beyond cognitive recall. And then we have these other levels, these higher levels, as it were, of the real time mind, which is a reflected copy, and the astral mind, also a reflected copy. The real time mind will take care of things like remote viewing, the environment around you and beyond, scrying, looking into things with directed focus, clairvoyance. If you're naturally clairvoyant, you see beyond your immediate present, not beyond your immediate present, but your immediate surroundings, your sphere of influence into realms beyond. And then clairaudience, the ability to hear things from other realms. So that's all within the real time, that layer that's right between the prime material plane and the astral planes. Now, the astral mind is where the true magical workings take place, where you can store up systems in your memory palace. You can visit your astral temple to do magical workings, and the timeless homeland. So, next up will be the mapping of the realms immediately beyond our realm. And I think this chart will help somewhat in the mapping. I don't guess that it's going to be a spatial mapping, but more of a topical and causal mapping. Although when you're drawing, of course, mind maps, they are going to take a spatial representation on two-dimensional paper, right? But the map is not the territory, just as the menu is not the meal, right? So here's in the first tenth, as it were. So the astral projection section of the 100-day magical challenge this time around seems to be taking a, that's kind of fun, a little backlighting, huh? Seems to be taking a natural evolution into a 10 10-day course, whereas the first 100-day challenge took the form of 3 trimesters. This time around, it's more naturally organized itself into 10 days. So we're already in the second 10 day, and with 10 days and 5 parts, 5 main parts in this book, Astral Dynamics, it looks like we're going to have, it's kind of fun, huh? It left an imprint on my finger because the ink was still wet. We're going to have 2 10 days on each, right? That'll add up to 100 because there's 5 major parts. So we've got in the first 2 10 days, we've got section 1, which covers dimensional theory, the projected double. This is the how far I've made it to the astral site. And then there's a couple more sections. So you can't learn anything from a book without practice, right? Consciousness, astral sight, waking paralysis, the mind split, OBE, and perception. So the basic idea of the mind split is this. So here we have 3 primary mind splits occurring. Let me choose a good color here. Maybe I'll go with green. I like green. I always think green is lovely. So there's a mind split here. I'll just write MS for a mind split. A mind split here, and a mind split here. So there are three primary mind splits, which cause the factor of observation from four different perspectives, but you only have to correlate three because the etheric mind isn't accessible in the waking state, though you'll interact with it while, so I'll put it here, dreaming mind, astral mind, and real time mind. Yeah, so you have this trinity of minds with the etheric at the center doing the heavy lifting, as it were, the main writing into the hard drive of life. So the key here is to experience the observation simultaneously from these perspectives, which is, what's the word, an enigma, really, because enigmatic? Is enigma the word I want to use? It's kind of a contradiction. It's a kind of impossible thing, right? So in the mystic moment, the impossible becomes possible. But in sorting back through that, as I was saying, imagine you spend just a brief jaunt, we'll say, so we can reference it, we'll say 10 minutes. So now you have 10 minutes of the dreaming mind creating ambiguous imagery, 10 minutes of the etheric doing all of the heavy lifting, the recording into the etheric aura, and then likewise 10 minutes of the real time mind attempting to scry and view around it the physical body and the dream shapes, as well as the activity of the etheric mind, and then the projection of the astral mind, another 10 minutes. So, in just this 10-minute span, you can see that there's, if you went back to review it, to recall, you would have a minimum of 40 minutes that you need to recall. So, we're talking for every quarter of an hour, you're going to need an hour of review, which is in no means practical. Therefore, the the system will do the firing and burn out the dross, as it were. It will do the sifting and produce the prima materia, that which is important, the sine qua non, the quintessence should emerge, the cream of the crop. So those lasting lucid impressions are the ones that are relevant. And those are what should be left over in the morning. That's why I've always likened it to gathering the gold, the precious metals, rather than weaving together these shadowy images, because many of those shadow memories that Robert Bruce talks about lie mostly within these realms of the dreaming mind and the real-time observations. They're not the actual astral work, and we'll look a little bit at why why I think that's relevant. So in, let's see, he talks about the separation point, the mind split experience as given above, and many controlled experiences. The body takes, when the projected double leaves the physical body, it takes with it a full copy of all memories up to the exact moment of the mind split. From that moment onward, the projected double records its own memories completely separately. The physical body also continues recording its own set of memories after the moment of separation. memories of a continuing and unbroken existence within the physical etheric body. After an apparently failed projection attempt, the physical body has no further contact of knowing what is happening in its projected double after the moment of separation. When the mind split occurs, there's a very definite break in the connection between the physical brain and its projected copy, as though a switch has been thrown, and many projectors hear a definite click at the moment of separation, sounding much like a light switch being thrown. This may be a symptom of the mind split occurring. I've never actually heard a click in any of my projection activities. What I feel rather is a bit of a electrical shock, like like the waking paralysis, like dream paralysis, when you're waking up and you become aware of being near your body and simultaneously outside of it and in it, and you want to move the body, but you can't because you're still in the trance state so deeply that you're between the realms of dreaming and waking. And so I feel it is like electrical shocks to the system, like the nervous system trying to regain control of the physical body. And rather than be rather than be alarmed or panic in that situation, you should let your consciousness oscillate between the perspectives. And that's, in my own practice, what I've started doing at that point is, rather than jumping up and writing down in my journal the trail of images that I bring back, I'll start first by writing down salient. Ooh, the battery on my phone is already dying. I think I'm going to reboot this, man. I'll manifest a tablet and pen etherically in the realm of dreaming, in the lucid realm of dreaming, and then I'll focus on writing down key words in the spirit vision. And it would be interesting if I had an assistant that, at that point when I'm coming out of trance, that they could actually put a pen and paper in front of me so that I could write from trance. But um, I don't have an assistant, right? So I have to assist myself in that endeavor. But I found that it's very interesting to watch from within a projected double. And when you're reintegrating from the mind split, it's very interesting to like have the large paper in front of you, similar to this size, right? This is the size I use, and then to watch my hand while asleep and in trance, and writing down words that I want to bring back into the waking realm. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they're all erased from my mind anyway upon returning to the waking realm. But sometimes it does work. So that's just one technique I'm trying to develop. Um, If the projected double does not succeed in impressing its shadow memory strongly upon the physical brain during reintegration, the physical brain is unreceptive and it fails to make any noticeable impression at all, thus becoming effectively lost to the conscious mind. Shadow memory loss is far less likely if the physical etheric mind works with its projected double before, during, and after reintegration. This is part of the reason why he strongly advises people to keep their early projections ultra short, as this greatly increases their chances of reclaiming their shadow memories during reintegration. And again, one one way that I've found that works for me, and it coincides, I think, with what he's saying here, is that you put yourself into trance through deep relaxation. And if this is a projected experience while waking, like sitting in meditation, then it definitely requires an environment that you'll be free from distractions for anywhere from, 5, 10, 15 minutes, if you're doing these ultra short ones, to an hour to 4 or 5 hours, depending on if you're doing a longer projection. Sorry, guys, I got a little itchiness on my eyelashes there, and now it's starting to. I'm getting lag on the video image, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one here. Check the phone situation out. Yeah, see it. It's dropping to 0 now, and then I'll reconnect with you in a few moments, and we'll talk about astral feedback. So this is a very important section, and I think you should definitely tune in for it. So give me about 5 or 10 minutes to figure out what's going on with the phone, and then I'll see you back. So from the abodes of the celestial kingdom, Frank Monday wishing you well at Astra into the abodes of the future. I'll be back in a flash.